Beets have been used for 2,000 years. It supplies your body with energy, vitamins, and minerals. They're packed with so many vitamins. They're packed with sodium, iron, phosphorus, copper, magnesium, manganese, fluorine, iodine, sulfur, lithium, bromine, vitamins A, C, B1, B2, and B12. Let's get started fermenting. Okay, I'm not going to use no fancy apparatus to cut this up. I'm just going to cut it up with my knife. Now you can cut it up in small shredded pieces or just cut it up in chunks. It's just whatever texture, however you want it cut up. And I think I've got about 3 pounds of purple cabbage and about 3 pounds of green cabbage. Then I've got about a pound of beets. So I'm just going to get this part of this cut up, and I'm going to get it in my bowl. You want to get part of it cut up, and then you want to salt it down a little bit. Just kind of layer it, cabbage and salt, and cabbage and salt. Okay, now I'm going to cut up my green cabbage. Sharpen my knife a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of shred it up, cut it up. Don't have to be everything perfect chunks. It's all going to ferment the same. Now we all know that our red cabbage has more nutrients than our green, but I like putting green in with my red. Now before I put any more cabbage in here, I'm going to put a little bit of cannon salt in here. Just put just a couple of teaspoons of cannon salt. You don't want to put too much or you'll get it too salty. Then you're going to take your hands and you're just going to work that salt in that cabbage. Just work it in there with your fingers. Just massage it in there. And that's going to wilt your cabbage and it's going to help draw out that juice. Just kind of massage it. Get it in there good. It don't take very long. When that salt really soaks into this cabbage, the juices will start coming out. Especially when we get it in the crock and start pounding it. It will. You'll be surprised how fast your juice starts. Okay, I got the rest of my cabbage cut up. I'm going to put just a couple more teaspoons of cannon salt. And, you know, if you need to, some people have to cut the acidity just a little bit, and they'll put a couple of teaspoons of sugar. And that really is a good thing because what that does, it feeds your fermentation. Some people leave it out and some people put it in. Now, when I'm fermenting cabbage to can to put on the shelf, I will put a little bit of organic sugar in there. Just to give it, just to draw out the acidity just a little bit and to give it a good taste. So that's optional, that's up to you, but I'm just going to get this massaged in there good. Okay, I'm going to live on the wild side and I'm not going to wear any gloves messing with these beets. But I am going to use my little apparatus here to get them shredded up pretty fine. This thing does a real good job of shredding. And I think I've got about a pound of beets. I love this little shredder. It shreds up cheese in no time. So just get them shredded up. And get them in there. I just love beets. I hope my beets turn out this year. They didn't turn out last year. They started coming up, and I'll be dogged if something didn't get in there and eat tops out of them. It's always something. I'm always fighting some kind of varmint in my garden. Rabbit, rat, something. Something's always eating tops out of stuff. So there you go. I got the beets all ready. They're shredded up real pretty. You just start working them in with your cabbage. Just rubbing them down with that salt. Just get it all worked together. It's all going to come together real good. And I'm going to have to get this off my hands before it stains my hands. Now I got this all massaged and worked up. And I let it sit out here on the counter for about 20 minutes. And it's really wilted that cabbage, which means that it's drawed out a lot of moisture. And there's about 6 pounds of cabbage in this bowl. So I'm going to get my fermenting crock here. All it is a clay pot. Nothing fancy. Just a handmade clay pot. It ferments cabbage really good. I'm just going to start filling it up. Not going to put no more salt in it. So I'm going to put, maybe I'm going to put about half, almost half, my cabbage in there. Then I'm going to get my little pounder. And I'm going to pound and pound and pound. And I'm going to work that cabbage up. And what I'm doing is I'm pounding down that cabbage, and what it's doing is juicing it. It's getting that juice out of that cabbage and them beets. And that's what's going to make your brine. So you just got to keep working, keep pounding. And if you don't have a pounder, I made this one. Amazon sells several different fermentation, I don't even know what they're called, pounders or something. But you just keep working that up and working it, and then you'll put the rest of it in there, and you'll do the same with it. I got all my cabbage in there, and this is a little bit of a brine beet juice that was left in my pan, and I'm going to pour it in my crock over my cabbage. I ain't going to let none of this go to waste, because that's your good beet juice right there. Get it all in there. It's kind of a hard angle for y'all to be able to see inside this crock. But you can see how the brine is, it's coming up to the top. Now, if I end up with not enough brine and I don't feel comfortable with it, I've got me some brine made up. I got about a quart of water with about a tablespoon of salt mixed up in it. Or a teaspoon, I'm sorry. And I'll pour it on top. Okay, I've been pounding on this long enough that the juices they're really doing good. They're getting up there, and they're going to come on over the cabbage, because you want your cabbage totally submerged in that brine. And like I said, if you don't feel like there's going to be enough brine in there, just make you a little bit of brine and pour it over the top till you get it completely covered. And that looks good. I feel a lot better with that. I think that'll keep it totally submerged. So I'm going to get something to hold that sauerkraut down. Okay, I don't have any disc or anything to hold my sauerkraut down. So what I do is I filled my quart bag up with water, made sure it was sealed good, and I just stuck it down on top of that cabbage, and that's going to hold that cabbage down underneath that brine, because your cabbage needs to be under the brine at all times. You have to check it every day and make sure that you've not lost any brine, everything's still covered. So that's it. It's all about that easy. And it's going to take me and Mr. Brown a while to eat all this. So it's going to last us a while. But I wanted to show you, this is the neatest little crock. I got this at a flea market for $6. And what I'm going to do is I put it back here in my pantry on my shelf where I do put all my fermenting. This is stuff that's fermenting right now. That's my sourdough starter. That right there is lemons. That's canned lemons. I use it like I would lemon juice. This right here are all fermenting citrus that I use for a lot of different things. My citrus vinegars I use for cleaning. There's Dane's coffee beans. I use for cleaning. I make salad dressings out of it. That back there is pears. That's for my pear vinegar that I'm making. And that big jar back there in the back, I've had that jar for 3 years now. And it's full of lemons and orange rinds, rosemary, and basil. And that's what I make my surface cleaner with. I just keep replacing it and keep using it. I need to get some of the stuff strained off and start another batch. I just can't hardly do without my fermented citrus. So many uses for it. So, it's going to sit back there 2 weeks. Guys, look how pretty that is. I'll let this ferment for a couple weeks. But in between them couple weeks, of course, you need to check it. Then make sure that your brine is still over your cabbage and stuff. But you need to start and taste it. And I guess it was because the temperature of the house the last couple of weeks hasn't been that warm because we've not had a real hot fire because it's not really been that cold. So to get it to ferment it to where I wanted it, it took a couple of weeks. And it tastes real good now. But I just think it's so pretty. That beet and that beet brine just really makes it a pretty color. Now, even with it being fermented for 2 weeks, that cabbage is still just as crunchy as it was. Well, almost as it was when I first cut my cabbage up and put it up. It's still crunchy, got a good crunch to it, and that's what I like. So I took it out of my brining crock, and I've got it in this glass jar, and I'll put a lid on it, and I'll put it in the refrigerator now. And every day, me and Mr. Brown go in there and just get us a couple tablespoons and eat it with our dinner, our supper, whatever. Just as long as we get a little bit down every day, because it's really necessary for our gut health. And the more research I do on beetroots and beet juice, there's just a lot of good things that I've been finding out about it. You can also do a detox with beet juice and drink it every day, and it'll help detox your liver. And I can give you the recipe for that. It's just like 6 small beets, 1 large apple, 2 medium oranges, and about 1 inch of ginger. And you just cut all that up and put it in your juicer. Or if you don't have a juicer, just cut it up and put it in a blender. And then just strain it real good. And that's supposed to help detox your liver. So that's just another good one right there. It has so many vitamins and just so many things that it's hard. It was just hard for me to not. I mean, me and Mr. Brown have always liked eating pickled beets. We've ate them for years. My grandma always put them up. She grew them and put them up, and I just always have liked them. So I've always ate them, I guess, all my life. But it's just a good thing to have. So the whole process is not hard at all. It's just the waiting to get to the certain point where you want it. And then, like I said, just put it in the refrigerator and just eat on it every day. And when you start getting low, just start you another crock of fermented sauerkraut. The darker your vegetables, the more nutrients you're going to have in that vegetable. Purple cabbage has more nutrients in it than your green cabbage. So I try to incorporate red more than I do green. Now we do eat a lot of green. I can say that because we eat fried cabbage and boiled cabbage, but green green cabbage just does better for fried and boiled. But your red cabbage or purple cabbage is going to have more nutrients in it. This is real good to eat. Let's say if you're going to have hot dogs. Just put this on your hot dog instead of a relish. I like to eat it with, like, if I'm eating brown beans and cornbread, I get me a couple spoons of this. Just make it a part of your diet. You know, as a young woman, I was really healthy. I mean, I was just never sick. The only time I ever went to the doctor or the hospital was when I was having my babies, and that's it. So when I started getting the signs of something not right, and I really neglected it, I can tell you. And I'll tell you why I neglected myself. Because I was putting in so many hours at work and trying to take care of everybody else except myself. Because I think I went years with my thyroid trying to shut down and I didn't know it. Because I went from healthy woman, nothing wrong, to complete body shutdown. And blamed it on me putting in so many hours. It's been about 10 years now that I've lived without a thyroid, and it's rough. You know, if you've got an underactive thyroid, you can take medicine to kindly help it. Or if you got overactive, you can take medicine to kind of settle it down. And also to do a good diet along with it. But they took my thyroid completely out. So now I have to deal with trying to keep my body going, because your thyroid absolutely controls so much of your body that we just don't realize it. I mean, I never did. I just always thought that a thyroid either made you skinny or made you overweight. And was I wrong? I was very wrong, because it took me from very healthy to very sick. I've got a little bit of heart problems now. I have an autoimmune disease. I hurt every day, but I don't hurt so bad that I'm just going to sit around and complain about it, because there's people in a lot worse shape. And that's just the way I always look at it. Excuse me. I've had the flu. And I do, I do worry about it, because I have to take a Synthroid every single day of my life. If I miss it, my body goes into shutdown, and I can tell. So it really, it worries me that if something should happen that I couldn't get to my medicine, I run out. You know, I think, well, how long would my body make it? I have no thyroid. I mean, I really don't know. I've never had a doctor be able to sit down and say, Lori, if something happens, you can't get to your medicine, you have to go a long time without it, you know. So I do a lot of research on herbs and stuff that I can do that might help. There's nothing out there that says if you have no thyroid that this is going to help you out. But there is different herbs and stuff, different teas, herbal teas and stuff that can help if you have an underactive or an overactive thyroid. But when you do without one completely, they take it out, it's a whole different ball game. But it's one that I've lived with now for 10, 11 years now. I can't remember now. And I've dealt with it, and you just go on. Because like I said, there's people in a lot worse shape. I have developed on the borderline of Graves' disease. That worries me, because I have a lot of eye problems anymore. I have a lot of pressure in the back of my eyes. I'm real sensitive to the sun anymore. If I go out and I'm out there 5 minutes, my eyes just start watering profusely. I can't do it. And I've also developed night blindness. So that's just part of it. But I'm still kicking. So I think with me researching, eating as much healthy, good stuff to help my body, my gut, just everything inside my organs to keep going. Maybe if something happened that I could not get to my medicine, I'd be okay. I don't know. But just never, never stop doing your research on stuff. If you're dealing with cancer, always do your research. I just feel like there's so much out there that maybe we don't know. And that worries me too. I have so many people that I love that are fighting cancer. People that I don't know that are fighting cancer. Little bitty babies fighting cancer. Makes you sad. But anyways, we just have to do the best we can to take care of our bodies. If you can't deal with something, try something else. Because I can tell you, this lady is not a kombucha lady. I can't do it. I know it's good for you. That's why I turned for a probiotic a different way. And this is one of them. Any kind of fermented vegetable, that's what I go for, that'll help me. And yogurt and stuff like that. I just can't, and there's so many people that love the kombucha. I'm so happy for them, and I'm glad they can do it. This lady can't do it. And I've tried every recipe under the sun. I've been trying for years. This kombucha thing just, it's been around for hundreds of years. It's not a new thing. So I've tried it and tried it and tried it, and I just can't do it. If you suffer with thyroid problem, it is an issue, and you do need to take it very seriously. But do your research, because there is a lot of herbs and stuff out there that can help you. All natural. So, with that being said, this is the prettiest sauerkraut I think I've ever made. But I'm going to put a top on it. I'm putting it in the refrigerator so it'll stay cold. So I'm happy with that. I need to get another thing started. I done told y'all about the detox recipe on that, and I'll put it down in the description box too. Now, the one thing I didn't do that I should have done is I didn't have any fresh ginger. Ginger, you need to put ginger in this too if you got it. I didn't have any, but I'm going to start growing my own. I've started already. I've got them in pots. I couldn't find any organic good ginger at the grocery store, so that's why I didn't have any. But anyways, ferment you some sauerkraut. Do it with your beets, your beetroot. It's good for you. I hope y'all like this video. I hope it was helpful. We all need to help each other. I'm always out there looking and researching and learning a lot. So we just have to help each other stay healthy. But that being said, y'all come back and see me. Everybody stay well. My family's had the type A flu going around, and everybody's been so sick. And most of them had the flu shot too. So you just don't never know. So y'all stay healthy. God bless everybody. We love you. And take care of your body. Bye, everybody.